Namaste, this is Harsha Ramaiya. So today I'm live on two platforms, Facebook and Instagram Parent Station. So welcome to this session, Parenting Problems, Ask Mom Harsha Anything. So whenever I post reels, I get a lot of questions, lot of queries, lot of parenting issues that ma'am, what we can do for this, give me some solution for this. And I try to, combine all the questions and make a reel. But in 30 seconds, it's not enough to solve any issue. So then I thought, let me take a session, ask me anything wherein I can address the questions. So there are a lot of things that parents are concerned. There are a lot of things that parents are worried. There are a lot of problems that parents keep facing. So number one mantra today I want to give everybody. I'm sure what I'm going to say now, you all have heard it 100 times, but I'm going to repeat it because that is the whole and soul mantra of parenting. And my favorite quote that says, there is no such thing as perfect parenting. So as soon as we understand this, half of the problems will automatically subside because problems arise when we want to touch perfection. That is number one thing. So how much ever you try, this is an ongoing process. A few days back, I just ran a poll on my page asking for you, what does parenting mean? So there were a lot of good taglines and quotes and sayings that I received, but remarkable that I could note down was work in progress. Of course, it's a journey, it's work in progress. It's a journey wherein you solve one issue, one problem, another creeps up, because children have phases in their life. So this is number two understanding that we have to understand, that when a child is say 1 month old, there is a certain phase that is going on. When the child becomes 1 year, that earlier phase goes off, you completely forget, and then you have another issue to deal with. So because the child is going through a phase in his or her life, so that is very important to understand. So first thing that you have to note down is perfection. No, you cannot expect perfection and parenting, it never goes together. Number two is a child's life is full of phases. One comes to an end, another starts. So when the child is born, then there's infancy, then there's toddler age, then they become little elder. So every age and stage of a life has its own ins and outs, ups and downs, drama, tantrum, everything. So as a parent, if these two things, if we understand properly, I think we will be able to make some kind of peace with our own selves. That is number one. So underline these things. Now about problems, behavioral problems. Children are shouting, not listening. These are some questions that are there in my comment section box, where Nafisa has asked, Sindhu has asked, Sayali has asked, then Punjala, Poonam, Neeraj, they all have dropped in questions. But if I sum up all the questions, I think there is one answer. That when we become parent, we've dreamt of a parenthood wherein children, they would be cuddly babies, they would be sweet babies, and we'll be very happy. Oh, come on, that all happens in movies. When you have that little baby, real and real are two different things, When you have that real baby in your hands, then comes the real drama of a parent's life. Because everybody told you that, okay, fine, you'll get married, you'll have children, and children are these, that you love, falana, everything happens. But when that baby comes into your life, nobody told you that you'll have sleepless nights. You'll have to have that kind of a nature wherein every day you have to solve one or the other issue. Well, that journey is enjoyable, but of course, sometimes it is taxing. So, as a parent, we have to understand. And if we place our understanding properly in one place, I think problems will never happen. I'm not saying that problem will vanish. See, problems are there here in our lives of everybody else's life to stay. So there cannot be any life where there is no problem. Problem will be there, but our perception, our view, our thought process to look at the problem, if that is changed, lot of things can be under control. So, two things I told you: perfection, phase of children. Understand that if these two things you understand, the third important thing is that as a parent, especially I'm talking to moms, because dads have a limited role to play because they have limited time with children. So it's not that I'm not addressing to dads, but majority of the role or the responsibility lies into a mother's section. So here, and one very beautiful quote I had read somewhere. It was a hilarious quote that if mom goes mad, the whole house goes mad. So she has to be all right. So I think that we have a very important, vital, a very big role to play in a family when it's concerned, and when we particularly talk about children. So when you decide about consciously parenting your child, or you decide to make some changes, those changes will happen. But here also one more quote I want to add. Even personally, to many I have replied in comments, when I'm sharing my tips. One day you try, it will not work. 2 days you try, it will not work. It takes weeks of your consistent, regular efforts to make that little change. So here, number 3, Rome was not built in a day. So remember that thing every day, when you are deciding to take up one kind of a theory or a therapy or a thought process to address to one challenge or issue of a child's life, changes will come, but they will take little time. And in that time, if you give up, changes will take more time. So if you've decided to, okay, fine, this 20 days, for example, bolte na, everybody says that if you want to cultivate a habit, do that thing for 21 days. 21 days, yeah, 2, 1, very simple. But when it comes to implementation and when it comes to actually practicing it, 21 days look like one day looks like 100 years. So whenever you're looking forward to apply any kind of change, may it be waking up your child, may it be keeping peace when your child is shouting, or may it be just changing a child's habit, whatever idea you pick up, whatever method you pick up to make that change, that has to go regularly for 21 days. So let's take it as a habit. So today you decided, okay, fine, for shouting, I am going to lower down my voice. That was the reel that was appreciated widely and hugely by everybody. But practically, it was difficult. That is what most of you all said. Now, talking about me, why I said it's tried and tested is because my daughter and I almost have battles every single day. So, I decided one fine day that how much ever she shouts, I'm going to keep my volume in control. It is very difficult at that particular time, when children come shouting to you and they throw tantrums or they are stubborn and adamant to one thing. It's very difficult. But that's the test of parenting. If that time you give up, it's not going to work. So here when I'm talking about 21 days, it has to go continuous. I tried for 1 week, then I gave up. And again, after 3-4 days, again I feel, okay, fine, let me try that. It will not work. Again, you are there back to square one. Again, you'll start from 1 to 21. So, and another tip I want to share is that whatever technique you try to make that little change, don't try too many techniques back to back. It will not work. So try, make that change, and that change also, you give your 100%, what you will receive is just 1%. Okay, so mind that as well. Because if I'm looking forward for the drastic change that my baby is going to be, how I expect, and there is discipline and everything, that is a joke. That is unreal, that is fake, that is never going to happen. So here you have to be consistent. You have to believe that Rome was not built in a day. It will take time. And again, you feel sometimes that, okay, fine, some changes have come. Okay, you saw that, okay, fine. When I low down my voice, I am seeing some changes happen. And sometimes, it happens that child has changed for a while, and then again you see the child becoming as same as before. So that is the phase of a child's life. Child is going through something. It's not that you are not putting in any effort. Many a times, I myself, if I'm practicing meditation, I'm dealing with my inner peace, and I have conquered that thing, that okay, fine, I am now absolutely, there's peace with me. But there are some times in my life wherein I will break out. So it is a child's life. So there are ups and downs. There are a lot of things that go with children. So simple things that the friend is not talking with your child, that will disturb, that will react in a child's behavior. So, it's not that the child is not listening to you, but the child is going through many things, because for them, just losing a tiffin box, or a friend is not talking, or the teacher is just yelled at your child, or the child has just met with a little accident, maybe fell down, and there are some cuts and bruises, little. But for that thing, the child feels, oh my God, it's his world. So at that time, if we expect the child to be receptive, to respond to, it is not possible. So 3 learnings today, I think everybody, and these 3 learnings, if you digest and if you practice regularly, I'm sure problems will be there. Parenting problems go with parent till the time you are on this planet. There won't be a single person on this earth who would say that, okay, fine, my children are, जैसे मैंने सोचा था, they are the same. If they are saying they are lying, believe me, they are lying. So you meet those kind of parents, and you feel, and sometimes you see those children, oh my God, such a disciplined child. Oh my God, see how much he listens, how he greets other people, and you feel, yeah, see, my child never does this. So some children are like that. Some children need effort, and some children, in spite of putting a lot of effort, you will find no change. So here, the only thing that you as a parent can change is yourself. You as a parent can change yourself, your thought process of looking at a matter, issue, problem. And believe me, once you start thinking the way I am telling you, the problems will not seem problems. They will seem as challenges to you. And when you look at them as challenges, the whole perspective of parenting will change. You will start automatically enjoying each and every bit. So I always say that, it's a journey. Since you become a parent, and till the children, become adults. And even after adults, this relationship is such that you sometimes feel that I don't want to be in this relationship, but then you can't do without this relationship. So in 24 hours, once you feel that, oh my God, why did I get married and why did I have children? But then other time you feel, oh my God, these children are so lovely, I can't do without them. So that is parenting. We are just, between 2 feelings. We always are oscillating between 2 feelings, and that is parenting. So three advice, I would not say advice, but 3 tips that I'm sharing today are going to put a comma to all your problems, not full stop, because as I mentioned, that if you don't have any problems, that day is a waste of a day, because you don't have anything to do. So there should be ups and downs. A journey which is, flat doesn't excite us. So we are parents, we are fighters, So we look at every situation and we embrace those situations. So parenting and perfection will not go together. So don't expect that. Number 2, Rome was not built in a day. So be consistent, be persistent. Listen to all my reels once again. Go down and scroll to all my reels and listen to it with open heart, open eyes, open ears, and and match it up to practicality. It works. But when it works, number 3, when you are consistent 21 days. If you've given up on 7th day, Again, when you start, the circle starts for 21 days. So it's like that. So and you'll find, the most important thing is you put your 100%. The change that you will find is 1%, and that also is not guaranteed that 1% will stay. It may drop down and may go into minus again, but then you are a warrior, you are a parent, you have to get back to 1. So this is a journey, an adventure. I would say parenting journey is an adventurous journey. Sometimes you feel low. It's okay. It's very obvious to feel low. There are a few questions that are popping up. I'll pick those questions up. So how to avoid screen time to addicted kids? Well, so here I would say that screen time is a universal problem now for everybody. So here I would say that whenever you want to make that rule, sometimes this rule word is offending, but as parents, we have to put some rules for our children. So make it a point that you have a rule book or a rule line that, okay, fine, this is going to be the screen time and this time you won't have screens. It's difficult, but in starting, you will have a lot of problems with your children wherein they will fight, they will cry, they will throw tantrums. And sometimes because the other people in the house don't, are not on the same page, you may have to give up. But then eventually, if you have made up your mind that, okay, fine, 15 minutes is what you'll get as a screen time, do not go beyond that. Do not give up. Do not fall for children when they, are throwing tantrums or they're crying. So sometimes, to make good routine of a child or for the betterment of children, you have to lay down some lines. You have to draw some lines. And you yourself, for example, if you decide that, okay, fine, dinner time is the time when nobody's going to have any screens, it may be TV, mobile, laptop, or tablet or whatever, you have to first follow that. So screen time is a big topic, but you yourself will have to decide how much to give to your children. If you ask me, I really don't like to give cell phones to my daughter. She's in grade 3, going to grade 4. But at times, the school was functioning online in pandemic. So that time we had to give phones and children had learned a lot of things on phone. But you have to cut that time. You have to set a timetable, especially meal times and mobiles should not be allowed at all, at any cost. Whatever rules you have to set, whatever come what may, you have to do, but do it. But meal time and mobiles, a big no-no. Smart students, Sandhya is asking, smart students get liked by everyone, but average student get less attention. So here I would like to say, Sandhya, that these are average children only who make it to the top in the real life. Believe me, if you see around you, you will see the people who've scored ranks, they will be working in big companies, and the owner of those companies are those last benchers. So don't worry by the attention, because it's good that they're not getting attention. I appreciate that, because if children get that habit of receiving attention, they will feel low when they don't receive it. And in life, because we are preparing children for life, and if children are trained in a manner that every time, they are validated, they are appreciated, they are seen, it's not good. So let them be offbeat. I will appreciate that if my teacher will not notice my daughter. An average child really make in real life. So Sandhya, don't worry. My son is 7 years old, going to 2nd standard. He is not, I'm not getting your word, Manju. Concentrate, I'm not getting your word, Manju. You'll have to type it again. So overall, I have not addressed each and every question, but I've tried to pick up the nitty-gritties, and I've tried to weave in my conversation that I'm talking today. So it's your perspective, how you take parenting, it's how you deal with situations is what children will learn eventually. So if you make up your mind today that I'm going to be cool and calm, 21 days is a practice continuously. If you drop down at any day, start again. So that's my take on that. How to create interest in reading books. Okay. So reading books, I think bedtime is the best time wherein you can take a book and do not feed too much. When you start any habit for a child, may it be reading or may it be talking in English or whatever habit you want to cultivate, it goes very slow. So first time you've taken the book in the bedroom, if the child wants to see the book, turn pages and doesn't want to read, be okay with that. Drop will eventually fill the river. Don't try to feed everything in a day. It will never work. In fact, it will counter attack. So take books in your bedroom. If the child doesn't want to read, you just start flipping the pages and show interest. For example, you just, some kind of a drama that you're reading and you're happy reading that. Oh, wow, those kind of expressions that will excite the child to come and just peep in the book. So bedtime is the best time, or a second time is the evening time. If the child is not going to any extra classes or something and you have that half an hour with you wherein you're just giving snacks to your children, say at 5 p.m. in the evening or 6 p.m. in the evening, that is the time when children are really fresh, because 12 hours of the day has passed and it's towards the end of the day. So they are really open-minded. So if they are playing around in the garden and they come back to you for water or something, you're sitting on a swing, or just have a book in your hand and just try to read, and that will, encourage the child to peep in, and eventually that habit will grow. But any habit, do not impose that habit that, okay, 10 minutes every day you have to read a book. 10 minutes every day you have to practice for good handwriting. It will not work. You have to be very slow, only and only then you will find the child adapting to that change, adapting to make that thing as a habit. My baby nag for one thing continuously. What should I do? You'll have to mention, Lakshmi, you'll have to mention the age of your baby, because if the baby is like 2 years or 3 years, they have a habit of nagging because they are still not able to communicate in detail. So they won't be able to communicate, and that is the thing, they keep on nagging. So mention the age so that it's easy for me to guide you. Okay. Okay, Pooja is asking, my daughter is good in IQ. Her IQ level is excellent, but she's not taking seriously. Okay, so Pooja, your answer lies in your question only, that 5 years old child taking anything seriously, I mean, it will not go that way. So, as a parent, we have to be very considerate, because we want I know that we all are concerned that we want the best for our children. We want that children should learn, children should grow. But I think that expecting a lot will never help. We have to just provide them with that environment. How much to get into that environment, how much to take from that environment, how much to grow with that environment, that leave it up to the child. Because if we, at the very tender age of 5 years, we are expecting the child to be serious in his or her studies, or in his or her belongings, taking care of belongings or relationships or whatever behavior, that is expecting too much. So 5-year-old child, IQ level is good, bingo, you're done with it, you're sorted. So because this is the age, wherein children thrive for so many things. They have too many thoughts in their minds. They have a lot of energy levels, so that has to channelize. So if they don't get the right place to channelize their energies, their thoughts, their communication, of course it will reflect in their behaviors. Sometimes we listen parents coming and telling that my child is very hyperactive, my child cannot sit in one place. Why? Because those energies are not channelized properly. So Pooja, I request you, do not worry. If she's not taking anything seriously, don't worry. It's not a worry at all. Automatic, when she'll go in grade 1, grade 2, things will start falling in place. So don't worry. Ma'am, will you provide any book written by you on parenting? Sandhya, I am on it. It will take little time because I'm writing a book. The title of the book is Parenting, Perfection and Parenting. Will they go equal? That is the title of the book, and very soon I'm going to release the book. So all that small things that I mention in my reels will be there as blogs in that book. So thank you so much for reminding me. So Poonam here I have taken that behavior question. Yes. Saka is asking, my daughter is 8 years old. What is the best habit after tuition? We don't have a garden. Okay. So I think outdoor play or indoor play in any form, Saka, is a must for a child. 2 hours of play is a must. If you don't have a garden, arrange in your house. If you're living in an apartment, invite a few friends in your home or in the lobby that you have, just scan the place that you're living where you can find a place where the child can play, because a child's nutrition, 2 hours of play is a child's nutrition for brain, for body and entire development. And here when I mention that it's a nutrition, means if a child lacks playing physically, mentally, emotionally, if the child is not playing, you will see that eventually in the growth, concentration, focus, in the academics, the child who's played well is satisfied because all his needs are covered. When a child is playing, physical, mental, emotional development happens. Automatically the energies are channelized. So when the child comes back after 2 hours, if you cannot spare 2 hours at a stretch, divide 1 hour. If you cannot make that, divide 30 minutes into 4 sections. That is also completely okay. But say if the child has played for 30 minutes, before 30 minutes and after 30 minutes, you see the child's behavior. After playing of 30 minutes, the child is fresh from within, is not tired. Physically, the child will say, oh my God, I am so tired today. I ran so much. But that is a happy thing. That helps the child grow from within. And believe me, a child who's happy within only will succeed in everything. So 2 hours of play at a stretch, or divided into 2, 4, 3 sections, however you can make it. But you'll have to scan your area, the place where you're living, that how can you create that play area for your children. That is must. So I'm picking up last 2 questions because it's 5:30. My boy is 2.5. Anila, my boy is 2.5 years old. Shall I rebook him when he misbehaves or ignore? So Anila, what I would say is ignore is the best treatment that you can give, when the child misbehaves. At that particular moment, if you're going to nag the child and instruct the child that you are not behaving correctly, the child is not going to listen to you. In fact, he'll react double. So at that time, keep it unnoticed. When the child is in good mood, either the next day or at bedtime, just recall that behavior of the child and talk to that child that behavior was not good. This will work. Again, this technique is a very slow technique. So every night when you go to bed, make it a point that either in the drawing room or living room where you're sitting before you go to bed, scan the entire day wherein you found that the child had behaved well and not behaved well. 2 things. And this practice, believe me, is a gem of a practice, is the best of the practice that you can do. So scan the entire day. Don't find only faults. Any good thing that the child has done, appreciate that thing. It could be very small thing. And with the cover, address the thing that the child has not done good. And very lightly. At that time also, don't raise your voice. Don't try to instruct that this was not accepted. How could you do this? When you are talking or sharing or addressing a problem with a child, your tone, your language, your behavior matters a lot for the child to connect with you with the problem. If you are, because a 2-year-old child also has self-respect. You cannot, humiliate or raise your voice or insult a child, because that matters a lot. If at that particular time your volume is low, you're making an eye contact with your child, believe me, at that particular child, maybe the child may give you excuses, may walk out, may not listen to you, but gradually when you start practicing, the child will listen. And when you are drawing attention of a child's problems to the child, your tone matters. Softer the tone, more the effect. Preeti, last question I'm taking. Rest, everybody can drop the question and I'll pick it up in the next session when I come back. Preeti, my daughter is 8 years. I've taken that. Where is Preeti? I've lost Preeti. I've lost Preeti. I was supposed to take her question last. Fine, I'll revert back in the comments. I hope this session was informative and it's going to help you all. Do share with me what techniques you all are applying and how it works. But believe me, Rome was not built in a day. It will take time. Parenting journey is an adventurous journey. Enjoy each bit of it. So Mom Harsha bidding bye to everyone and coming soon with Ask Me Anything section. So drop your comments in the comment section box. Thank you. Bye-bye.